because everyone wanted to start actually going with boyfriends and stuff. And my friend group, I hope they're well now, but as teens, we were not good people. They were very, in a sense, aggressive and manipulative and played the emotional games a lot. I remember a lot of fights in between my two, closest friends, the one I met at the gym that introduced me to this friend group, and her best friend. They were my closest. And then I had another girl who was, my sole best friend. We all had, our friends, or best friend, and then we were all a group. And, that was my sole best friend. But these two were, my first two in this friend group. And they got into a huge fight, and they made me play middleman. And I remember this specifically because this is when I started falling out with them all. This is the beginning of falling out with them. I remember sitting in a classroom on the ground, talking to one of them about it, and then going home and texting the other one and being like, look, to be honest, she's just upset because of this. So I think you guys just need to have a conversation. I've always been that honest person. I'm not going to tiptoe around your feelings. I could give a crap if it hurts you. You need to hear it. You need to know. You need to understand why someone feels the way they do. And I just remember going to school the next day. Why did you do that? Why did you tell her that? She hates me now. I'm like, oh my God, stop being so ridiculous. Just talk to each other. Instead of just texting other people and talking about each other, why don't you just talk to each other? And then they kind of cut me off. And I couldn't give a crap. So I started really not giving a crap. And then on top of it, we were still kind of friends, and then the same girl, she played this guy, and he was the sweetest guy. Sweetest guy. She played him so hard. She pretended to like him, she made him take her to a dance, and then she basically told him no. And I was like, how could you do that? That's just so... ugh. So... they kind of fizzled, and then my other, my soul friend, she kind of fizzled on top of it because she went to my one friend's house that I knew since 3rd grade, and I knew her since, 7th grade. And she was like, I just don't really want to be here. She's annoying. And I was like, then leave. I was like, one, I live close. I can come get you, but you can also just leave. You don't want to be somewhere. Just leave. I was like, I get that she can be annoying, but she's just sad. I was like, honestly, I think that was my first experience besides Riley with depression. So she's just sad. She's just always upset, and that's annoying, yeah, sure, but if you don't want to be around her, don't be around her. And she's like, she ghosted for a little, and then next thing I know, she's texting me, and she's like, oh my God, she jumped off the roof and committed suicide. And I'm like, what? What hospital? I'll get flowers. Oh my God. Oh my God. And she's like, no, it's not necessary. Her parents are taking care of it. My parents are here. We're at the hospital. Everything's okay. And, that happened Friday, and I was freaking out all weekend. I didn't have any contact with any of them. They weren't talking to me. She told me she was in a coma. On Monday, I go to school, and they're both just there smiling in the hallway, looking at me like it's some kind of joke. What a sick joke. So I really didn't talk to them after that either. And then I started making new friends at the end of 10th, 11th grade. People I thought were good friends. I was wrong. I mean, they were good people. I don't know if they were good friends for me. They were involved with my old friend group in some sense, and it made it really difficult because I had to constantly hear about them and why I should be friends with them. And I was like, I'm not gonna tell you why I'm not friends with them, really, honestly. It's not your drama. And I just remember in 11th grade, I was in my gym nutrition class, and I loved that class. I loved the group I had there. We weren't really friends out of school besides me and one girl, but, I felt like they had my back and the best intentions. And then one of them told me that the other one called me every curse word in the book, said I was fake and a slut and a whore. And there was already a rumor going around that I gave it up to someone that I didn't. So I lost it. And I just remember crying in the hallway because I just started bawling. I was like, how could you say that stuff? And the teacher pulled me out and she's like, look, if you need to spend the time in the hallway, you and your friend can sit out here. You guys can just separate from her. And I was like, okay. And I spent that entire 40 minutes just crying. Her and I, the girl that I was like, how could you say all this? We had to sit down. She's like, I didn't do that. Someone's lying to you. And I figured out who it was. And I figured out who made it up. And it was from my original friend group. It was the girl that I wasn't really friends with. And she had gotten us into a lot of issues with her other friend that they had a falling out. I remember we were at the fair one year. I can't remember what grade. But because of these two people having this feud, one of them got a knife and got a lot of their friends to bring knives, and they were gonna chase her, and my house was so close. I was like, we'll just go to my house. And my one friend took the wrong turn. She's like, where's your house? I'm like, it's the wrong direction, you idiot. You went the wrong way. I was like, now we just have to run. And the cops got called, my parents got called, all of our parents got called, they all went home. It's a horrible situation. And what's worse is a lot of people in my old friend groups were part of those people that were chasing us. Because I had my solid one friend in elementary school, my other one friend in elementary school, my third one friend that came into the two friend in elementary school, and then that was kind of middle school, and then I had this other friend group in middle school beyond this friend group. And these two were feuding. And it made me realize that none of these people were ever my friends. So in 11th grade, I found out who was responsible for all this stuff, and in shop class, we were leaving and they just started whispering about me. And I don't do that stuff. I know you're talking about me. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna do a little wave or something. I'm gonna make it noticeable because I'm not stupid, and I hate when people act like you're stupid. So it's just like, if you want to talk about me, you can do that. So if you want to call me a slut, go for it. I was like, if you want me to call me the B word and the C word, go for it. I'll be the biggest. And I'm screaming this down the hallway now because I'm just done. I'm just exhausted of having to deal with everyone not liking me for some reason. I didn't do anything to anyone, really. Yeah, I was a little extra and I was a little rude, but I gave you sass because you guys gave me sass. You didn't make my life easy, so why was I going to be this sweet lollipop child? My life was hell. When your life is hell, you are a product of it. I am a product of the chaos. Oh, looking back, I hated it. It wasn't that bad. I got through it. There was a lot of days I didn't think I would. There's a lot of days I wished to not wake up. There's a lot of days I cried myself to sleep. And, I was still going through all this medical stuff at the same time. I was going to the hospital every 6 months, getting sonograms, getting blood work, getting bone scans, and it was hard. Constantly having no one in your corner and feeling alone. I remember being at a dance and some guy, who I'm pretty sure was out of his mind, was with this other girl, and this other girl and I never got along, and I don't know why. We never even really had a conversation. She just didn't like me. But her date wanted to dance with me, and I didn't want to do it. It took me right back to 7th grade, and I was like, I'm not doing this shit. I don't want to be made fun of. I don't want to be made the joke again. And he got down on his knees to dance with me. People took photos and videos. They're like, oh my god, it's so cute that he did that with you. And I'm like, is it? Because one, he's someone else's date. And two, it feels like a joke. It doesn't feel like he actually gave a shit about who I was. I mean, these are all the memories I remember, and it's all out of order because I can't remember timelines anymore. 11th grade, I didn't have anyone. I was alone, looking for anyone to take me in on a friendship level. And I remember being biology and having my friend from kindergarten and like wanting to like just be a tag along, and it never worked out. It always was like, oh, well, we want to be partners with this person. We want to do this. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just not good enough. Cool. Solid. And I just remember going home in 11th grade and just feeling so alone. Because, like, I didn't tell anyone what was going on. I didn't talk to my family. I didn't feel like I could. I didn't feel like they'd understand. I mean, after everything I've been through, there's so much that unfortunately I think they just didn't notice, so I felt like they ignored everything. And I love them. And I know that's not how it is, and I know they support me and they would have been there for me, but like, this is how I felt at the time. I felt completely alone. You know, everyone on my biological dad's side that had supported me had passed, or was losing their mind to Alzheimer's or something. And that's where I had a lot of that support of not knowing what's going on, but I love you, don't matter what. I know you're different, and it's okay, but you're perfect. So, when my grandma, my uncle, and my cousin passed, it was tough because I would go over to my biological dad's area and I wouldn't have anyone really to support me. So I always just felt alone in 11th grade, and they were talking about moving, and I was like, maybe it's smart to do a restart. But I also was like, they were constantly like, we won't move if it's gonna ruin your senior year. And I told them to do it anyway because I knew it was going to ruin me. I knew that it was going to prevent something in my life, but I watched my mom be a waitress my entire life. And she had the chance to improve and better herself for the first time. And I thought maybe it would mean I get to see my mom more. And for me, that was more important than being in a school that, yes, was hell, but knew who I was, versus being in a school that didn't know who I was. And 11th grade, I was already doing somewhat online, like my math, my English and stuff. I was going in for AP Bio, AP US History, and Anatomy. And I just remember going in every day and only wanting to be there for anatomy. And just feeling like no one really wanted to talk to me. That the only reason they were is because they were kind of being forced in a way that they had to. I felt like a mockery. I felt like that rumor about giving it away and all the falling out I had with my friends, that they just had more power in the school than me. And I couldn't escape it. Everywhere I went, someone would look at me like I was a horrible person. And all I was trying to do was survive. Live a normal life while also living a medical life. I was giving myself shots every day. I was in physical pain. So, at 16, we got the diagnosis that I wasn't going to grow anymore. My mom had a job opportunity, and I said, screw it, let's get out of here. And it wasn't the best decision. I went to a school that was bigger, more people to gawk at me, more people to be rude, no one to really want to understand. Even the people that tried to be my friends, they were, in a sense, fake. I feel like the one person that was going to be a real friend, the reason I wasn't friends with them is because I did half school and half school online, and I didn't have any other classes with them. So yeah, high school was very lonely. And it made me really not like or trust people. Because I trusted everyone with all of my heart. They all stomped on it and lit it on fire. Okay, y'all, so that's basically my perspective on my history and my social life and what it was like growing up for me. It wasn't easy, but I feel like it could have been a lot worse, so I would feel lucky. And, you know, I did leave a little bit out about my medical side and kind of that journey. So there is a brief history video on it in part 3. If you would like to watch that, enjoy. Otherwise, have a great day. Bye!